Yes, good evening to you all. This is our business live talk, whereby we shall discuss some bit of business, and I hope everyone is ready. Today's topics that we will discuss, we have the sources of funds, then business prioritization, then measures of success of a business, then the real business planning. Then we shall have some template of a business plan, how the business plan should look like. So in just a few minutes, I think we have to start such that we don't so we shall have a template at the end of a bakery, of a business plan in kind of a bakery. Though right now, I think let's start. Those who can provide, there's a comment section where you can put some comments so as to give me feedback. So let's start. So we shall first talk about the sources of funding, because most of you are youth, you don't have funding, and then before starting a business, you require to have some funding. So my first discussion will be about the sources of funding, whereby I will just discuss about only 3 types of funding that I can give you that you can really get. The first source of funding is fundraising. The second source of funding is equity raising. And the third source of funding we have is debt raising. So for fundraising, if you look at fundraising, this is just the act of soliciting and gathering voluntary contribution of money or other resources. So you may want to start a business, but then you don't have the money to start. You may try a fundraising campaign. You have really seen these certain banks putting some money that you can, and they need proposals. Yeah, you can write a good proposal and get some funding. And most cases, if you know the theme of that funding, make sure that your proposal is in line with that funding, and also the budget is in line with that funding. And then you should read the requirements of that funding you're applying for. So one source of funding, one source of funds, all source of resources, the funds, is fundraising. Another thing of fundraising, if at all you are still a student, all your parents have some money, you can go talk to them and have a budget. That can also be a source of fundraising. Then we have different circles, yeah? Different circles, the former schools we have attended. Then we have religious circles, yeah? So you can get some sources, you can get some resources from them. Then we have a simple source of funding we can really make, that really, at your workplace, you can try something called a cash round. How does this cash round work? In a cash round, you decide like every Monday, we shall be collecting some money, yeah? So every Monday you can be collecting some money, whereby you can say, according to our financial status, every Monday we shall be collecting, let me say 20,000. If at all we are like 10 employees at that workstation, you can say, if every Monday we collect 20,000, if we are 10, that's around 200,000. Then you make a list and say that. Then you make a list and you make some papers, you write your names and you choose at random. Such that every Monday when you collect 20,000, the first person that was chosen will receive that 200,000. You go on, it's a cash round. And at the end of, if at all you are 10 people, that will be around, because if in a month there are 4 Mondays in a month, you will need 2 months and a half for the other person to get the money. So every after cycle, you elect, or it's not like electing, you bring the papers, you write your names and select and random. You just select and random. So that way, because it's easier for you as a staff to collect, to give in 20,000 every Monday, other than getting the whole sum of 200,000. So one thing is about the cash rounds. You can try them at your workplace, because by the time you need that money, you can collect those simple monies. If at all your level of finances are like, you can collect 150 per month, a cash round can be per month, a cash round can be quarterly, it can be bi-weekly, 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks you collect money. So that's one source of funding. So for those who have just joined, I've talked about the sources of funding for business. We have fundraising, we have equity raising, and the third we have debt raising. We have been discussing the fundraising bit of it, which this is just the act of soliciting and gathering voluntary money contribution. As I said, you can get funding from your parents, you can get funding from your boyfriends, because basically if at all you are dating someone, you can get some funding. You can make a budget of 1 million and tell your boyfriend, just add me 500,000 and you make a business. Then the second source of funding can be equity raising. Equity raising, this is whereby you exchange a percentage of the ownership of your business with someone who's going to give you money. You get the point. You may want to start up of a bakery. You can, but then you don't have the funds. You can tell someone, invest in my bakery, but then you will have a percentage of the ownership. But then there's a challenge in that kind of funding. Reason that, because I've had, there is a member in the job line who approached me. She's a nurse, she's a medical practitioner. The other person is not into medicine, in medical field. So they had to join resources to start up a medical center. But in the end, though this one was was the owner of the funds. Remember, you are the owner of the funds, but the someone who's running the daily activities is the medical personnel. It reached a time when this person turned out to be your boss. So this kind of equity raising, whereby you don't have the funds, and then you give someone percentage of ownership of the business, has some negative issues. You have seen people starting up a restaurant whereby, okay, I don't have the money, but then my friend has money, let us start up. That's a good thing of fundraising, but the challenge of raising funds. But the challenge is that the person whom you are getting funds from may turn out to be your boss. And sometimes when you are split business, you may not really calculate how much you should share. So then the last type of fundraising, or raising the funds, getting the funds, we have debt raising. You exchange a debt in return for capital, or for capital. We have the loans. So some of you get loans. We get a loan to add in a business. First of all, it's better you get a financial analyst to look at your business before going to a loan. Before you go to a bank to get a loan, go and look for a financial analyst to look at your cash flows, your inflows and outflows. Some of you may want to go to the bank and get like 20 million, but when actually your business needs 5 million to grow. You may want to get a loan of 5 millions when your business needs 20 millions to grow. But then when you get a financial analyst, will look at your cash flows. And then there is when you look at your cash flows, when you look at your business, it's not that you're going to invest in all of the business. Look at what element am I going to invest in? What is the use of this loan? Is it going to buy, is it for capital? For these variable costs? Is it for the investments? Am I going to get this loan you should have a reason for that loan. Don't get a loan to use it for the whole business. No, get a loan to add on something. Like, my sales are very low. Let me get a loan to add on the marketing bit of it, either to hire someone of marketing, either to buy some gadgets for marketing, or let me get a loan to maybe to invest on the goods and services to get, or let me get a loan to invest on the rental. Yeah. So before you get a loan, you should be knowing. But then another way to avoid the loans, because basically these loans can go bad. Another way to avoid the loans is to get friends who are at least better than you in the financial status. This trust and friendship is built over years. Yeah. But then among your contact lists, which friend of yours can you call right now, tonight, and say, I need a loan of 100,000. I need a loan of 1 million. I want to invest somewhere. So social capital is really important. Because basically you have heard of this bagaga kwagalana. We'll call a colleague, boss, I need a loan of 10 million. I, as a fisheries officer, I've worked in a fish processing factory. We have these suppliers who bring fish to the factory. These people are so rich. The man can reach there at the factory, then he needs some money. He will just call a friend. Can you lend me 20 million? I will send you back the 20 million next week. So in order to avoid these kind of loans, get a circle of friends who are better than you financially. And these friends are built along a long period of time of trust. And make sure when you get that loan from that person, make sure you pay back in the period of time that is needed. That's the way you can avoid getting loans in the bank. Get a friend whom you have built trust for over years. Whenever you take that loan, pay back that loan in the time frame that was discussed. So the source of funds that we have talked about, we have fundraising, whereby you can fundraise, you can go to your parents, your friends who can give you funds, not lending you, they can give you funds. You can ask your husband, you can ask your friends, you can ask your class group, yeah, OBs and OGs. Then you can also do cash rounds at work. Then the second source of funds, we have equity raising, whereby you exchange some of the ownership, a percentage of the ownership of your business with someone with money. But then it has issues of that person might come out and take over the business. Then the third is debt raising, whereby you exchange a debt for capital. And I've told you the way to avoid debts from the banks and money lenders and the like, make friends who can borrow you money. And when they borrow you money, make sure that you pay it back the same amount in the same period. And most cases, how can you pay back money that you have borrowed? Break down that money in installments. Because if you borrow around 10 million, maybe you'll not be able to pay back all at once. Tell that person whom you have borrowed money from that I have my payback period will be monthly, over a period of let me say 5 months. That means I'll pay back 2 million every month. And the moment you pay back that money, your friend can gain trust to lend you money. So I've talked about the sources of funds. Now, the next important topic we are to talk about is the business prioritization. Yeah. What are you going to rely on? Because you people have different business ideas, but then you want to make a hardware, you want to go to make a pharmacy, you want to go for rentals, yeah, you want to go for a restaurant. I can give you 3 tips about what you can use when you're choosing a business. Yes, we have around 3 tips. 1, you can use the payback period. 2, you can use the cost benefit analysis. 3, you can use net present value. On these three examples, I'm going to give I'm going to give some examples, or the three. So we have what we can use. We have the payback period. So you may have different ideas, business ideas. I want to start a restaurant. I want to do a hardware. I want to invest in tree planting. Yes, I want to invest in let me say rentals. But ask yourself, what is the payback period? If I told you that patient enough to be patient, like if it's a tree planting, trees may go for 5 years to harvest. Are you that patient? Yeah. Look at the rentals. The rentals. Because the rentals you will invest, but to get back your money, it will take my 2 years. So ask yourself, I'm going for this business, but what is my payback period? Yeah, payback period basically will mean payback period is the amount of time it takes to recover the cost of investment. Yeah, or is the amount of time you take to break even. So you look at that business. I'm investing in this business, but how much time will it take me to recover my investment? If I told I've injected 10 million, how much time will it take me to bring back my 10 million? That's why some people go into businesses and later on regret, why did I invest in this? Because they didn't know the payback period. Those who have done bakery can have an investment of, if it's a small bakery at home, you're using your refrigerator, your own kitchen, you can invest around 1 to 2 million. Yeah. So I'm having a comment. Someone we are going to have an interaction. Brenda is saying, I don't know if it exists, but a friend has ever told me about a saving account, something like that, where you keep your money in a bank and it keeps on increasing according to interest. How is that? Yes, another idea you can have. You can have a fixed account. So certain banks can have that privilege. You can invest. Okay, this colleague of Brenda has brought source of funding, where you can raise capital and get that capital after some time. Yeah. So some banks have that. You can invest in that bank, have a fixed account, deposit money, and then you share the interest with the bank. That's a good idea. So you can keep on bringing good ideas in the chat, and we can discuss upon them. So we have been talking about what parameters are you going to use to choose between one project and another. Yeah. We have talked about the payback period. I've given an example. If I were to invest in tree planting, you'll get back your money after a period of time. These things like bakery, you can get back your money in a short period of time. Those who have done things like clothes, yeah, boutiques, you can get back your money. Yeah. So you should always calculate what is the payback period. Then another metric or another thing you can use when you're choosing between business ideas. Yeah. We have what we call cost benefit analysis. Now, cost benefit analysis, it's all about this is systematic approach to estimate the strength and weaknesses of alternatives. You get the point, yeah? Now, cost benefit analysis, you might be having your business, but then there are decisions you want to make, and those decisions will cost you money. But then you have to run a cost benefit analysis. I can give an example. Those who are into agriculture, we have, because here on my laptop, I'm having some cost benefit analysis of some agriculture products. Yeah. Let me just a minute. We have like those who have done cassava. Yeah. Cassava cost benefit analysis. Yes, I'm going to give you a cost benefit analysis so that you see. So now here on my laptop, I made a cost-benefit analysis for some production. Let me give production, let me say we are doing cassava, yeah? You realize that if you sell cassava, the raw root, yeah? If you sell the cassava when it is raw, realize that a kilo of dry maize grain, here in my cost benefit analysis is 1,200, a kilo of dry maize, yeah? But then, if at all I'm going to do cost benefit analysis, if at all I'm going to do some processing, when I process and get maize flour grade 1, I can sell a kilo at 2,500. Remember, when I'm selling it raw, it's around 1,200. But now the investment per kilo of processing, if I'm to process, I might add in like around maybe 500,000 per kilo to process, yeah? So that way, cost benefit analysis, ask yourself, I'm doing a business, I'm selling cakes, yeah? We have these flavored cakes. I've been selling my cakes at 100,000, the normal cakes. But then, if I add in a 5,000 input, will I raise my money? Will I sell this cake at 150? You get the point, eh? So some of you add on something, you do value addition to a product in your business, and later on realize you don't have the sales. So before taking on that decision of that business part of it, that alternative of that business, you should do a cost-benefit analysis. Remember, we're on business prioritization. The third thing, and the third parameter you can use when you are doing this choosing a business idea, we have net present value. What does this mean? For net present value is the difference between the present value of cash inflows and the present value of cash outflows over a period of time. Maybe in simple terms, present value is the present value of the business now versus the costs over time. Yeah? Let's say in rentals. I'm talking about net present value. Look at for the rentals. A rental, you'll invest your, let me say 50 million right now to build rentals. And the rentals, if at all you have around 10 rentals, they're giving 100,000. Per month, may be around, if it's per month and all they are full, it's around 1 million. 1 million per year, it's around 12 million per year. Remember, there are expenses you're going to put on a rental. Remember, when someone is going out of that rental, you have to paint it again. So this is where you do the analysis for net present value. I'm going to rentals, but over and over and over again, I'm going to do some renewals. Yeah, the rentals. You realize that you're going to rectify the drainage. So, all in all, when you are choosing a business, you should think about these things: parameters, the payback period, how long will your money come back. Second, the cost-benefit analysis. This one you'll use it for the alternatives of your business. Then 3, the net present value, whereby you look at what are the expenses over time versus my current revenue over time. So before we continue, we had a question from Brenda. Because Brenda, when we were talking about the sources of funds, we talked about, she brought an idea. She says, I don't know if it exists, but a friend has ever told me about a saving account, something like that, where you keep your money in a bank and it keeps on increasing according to interest. How is that? That is also a good idea. You can invest money. Remember, money you have at hand that is not bringing in, that is not being added, yeah, reproduced. That is not money. That's why you rather invest something because if I told you have money on the account, you better have it fixed on interest, whereby you can have and share those interests with the bank. Another thing, you can have your money, invest it in land. Land appreciates over and over time. You have your money sit on the account, you invest it in land. So Brenner also says, does it work? Because I'm thinking if I join campus and at least save 5K a week, bank it after campus all a year, then use it for a business, does it go right? Yes, it goes right. You go and look at the packages those banks are having. If they have those fixed accounts whereby you keep your money and it goes on growing, you can go with that. So we have been talking about the parameters you should use when you are to invest in a business or business prioritization. Now from that, our next thing we are going to discuss, yeah, let's discuss what are the measures of success of your business. How do you know that my business is making is having success? Yeah. So measures of success, we have around 7. Measures of success, we have around 7. Yeah. To get to know how is my business working, how to calculate is am I in business or I'm not in business? Am I just wasting my time or not? The first is what you call the break-even point. The amount of money a company must earn in a given period of time to cover its expenses. Now, if at all you invest in a business, yeah, and realize that you're taking years and years to break even, yeah, that is a bad investment because sometimes you may be in need of that money. So if at all you have a business that you have put in your money, but then you are getting back your money in a short period of time, that is a good sign that you're into business. Yeah. So the break-even point can be used as a tool to measure your success of the business. Number 2, we have the net income ratio. Yeah. Which is the money when a company subtracts its expenses from revenue. Now, the net income ratio is when you subtract, yeah, the expenses of your money from your revenue. Now, let me give you an example. We have the variable costs of the business. We don't have the fixed costs. Now here you leave out the fixed costs or the investment you made earlier. Yeah. You may have made an investment of 50 million, leave that. We're talking about this money you're using to run your business. You materialize that you're making sales of 2 million, but using 3 millions to get the 2 million. You get the point? There you realize that you're not making business. But if at all your expenses, you're using expenses of 2 million, but then you are making sales of 5 million, that means you're into business. So the net income ratio can be used to determine the success of your business, which is you get the money that you're using for expenses, you subtract it from the revenue or the sales. When you get a positive balance, then you know that you are into business. And then you can really check yourself over time. Let me say every month, you realize that maybe the margin is going on growing. Or sometimes some business you don't get a positive net, you get a very low ratio. All is negative. But then let it be like this first season and the next season, you are reducing. Yeah, the negative is reducing. It's reducing on and on. Not until you get into positives. We have a question here from Dreamers. Sorry to ask late, but if I get money input like 5 million to go abroad on Cheyo with a monthly salary of 2 million versus investing the money in Ceteris Paribus, who could be on a higher growth advantage? try to explain to me what is ceteris paribus. Remember, where investment, later on we shall look at risk management. Yeah? Because if you talk about investing 5 million to go abroad on Cheyo, there's also risk management. What are the risks involved? And also this investing this money, what are the risks involved? Because most cases, I tell people, you rather be in Uganda, whereby you have contingency plans for risks involved in that business, other than going abroad, whereby the only risk management you will have to do is to come back to Uganda. I think you have gotten an insight. Yeah? So let me continue with the measures of success. He says with intention investing after working. Yes, I can give you a scenario and another investment. Those of you who have gone for masters, we have had people who have gone for masters, who have applied for masters abroad, but then they are looking at two things. They are going to get that masters and also get that stipend, yeah, the allowances they get. They go for that masters and come back around with 40 million and invest. Now, this colleague of ours is like, if I'm going to go abroad, invest 5 million, go abroad, earn 2 million, then come back and invest. That's a good idea. Provided other factors are concerned that you're going for a legit job, you're going to come back, and then the challenge with this kind of investment, it is two-way. Should I be abroad and send money back home and invest? Or should I keep the money on my account and come back and invest at once after 2 years? Another thing, advice I can give, never send your money to relatives back in Uganda to invest for you. Don't do that. Currently, we have had companies whereby you can invest in. We have had different companies of land, of estates, whereby you can invest. The cash flows are clear. Yeah, you can track your money. You rather work abroad and invest your money in a company, and it uses your money to invest in estates. Then you come back and share the sales. If it invested in land, you can come back and take your land. If it invested in rentals, you can come back and take your rentals. So those who have gone abroad to work, rather invest in companies which have estates. You can buy shares, they can invest in land, they can build for you rentals, and you go on. So let's continue. Keep your comments in the chat because it's more interactive. So from that, we have another way to calculate your success in a business. We have what we call monthly recurring revenue. The monthly recurring revenue is like the total sales you get in a month. Yeah? Or it can be not in a month, it can be over a period of time. It's you who sets the targets. You can say after 2 weeks or after a week, then you balance the books. So you can measure your success according to the recurring revenue you get, the recurring sales you get. So that's also a way of measuring your success of a business. Then another way, the next point is about the leads, conversion, and bounce rate. Now, this thing is those, because I've seen most of you are into marketing via online, Facebook, WhatsApp, yeah? You market via TikTok and the like. How do you measure your success? Those who are using media to market. One, we have there are 3 points you should use while measuring success. If at all you're doing marketing online, one, you should measure the leads. Measure the leads. You tally the instances of contacts, yeah, with the potential customers. You balance. I've marketed this business of mine via online. How many customers have I reached, and who are the potential customers? That will tell you if my business is working. Then number 2, you assess your leads. You compare how many customers, how many people have you reached versus how many leads have turned into a sale. You get the point? You are on WhatsApp. You have posted on Facebook. You have posted on WhatsApp group. Many people have inboxed you. You calculate how many inboxes have I gotten for my products. They are 10. Then calculate how many of those 10 have converted that into a sale. Who have bought? There are 6. Now you say 6 over 10. That means I have a percentage of 60%. Then keep that record. You advertise again another day. You get 20, you get, 100 inboxes. Those are 100 leads. Then versus how many sales have you made? You have made 10. So you get 10 divided by 100. That's around 10%. So you realize that when I marketed here, I got 100. I got 10 sales out of 100 leads. When I marketed here, now what does that communicate to you? You should be knowing that when I marketed at 8 a.m., I got 100 leads and I got 10 sales. But when I marketed at around 8 p.m., I got around 20 leads and I got 15 sales. What does that mean? It communicates to you to know when do your customers see your adverts. You should get to know that. When do your customers see my adverts? Is it in the morning? Is it during lunchtime? Is it so you should be knowing your customer behavior. You get the point? I can give a scenario. You have known of a certain artist, musician, who advertised his concert, yet his music is for these high school students. He advertised his concerts when the students were at school. His concert flopped. So now your customers should be crucial. Now you have gotten this trick. Those into social media marketing, you try posting your business at different time intervals. Then you get to learn what is the best time interval where I get customers. Then what's the best time interval where I get the sales? Go to the week. Is it Monday? Is it Sunday? Is it Tuesday? Is it when? Then is it on public holidays? Is it on these special days? There it will make you know where you're going to put an investment in advertising at different times of the day. I think you have gotten that insight. Another insight is of calculate the conversion rate. The percentage of leads converted from leads generated in your, so you calculate how many have bought, yes, versus how many have inboxed you, then versus how many have made the sales. Now, another measure of success we have, the return on investment. So we have already talked about the return on investment. I think the return on investment, this is the ratio between the income and the investment, yeah? And it's measured by subtracting your company's costs of goods and services from your overall revenue, and then dividing the number by the costs of goods and services sold, yeah? Return on investment is the ratio between the income and investment. How do you get it? By subtracting your company's costs of goods and services from your total revenue. You get your revenue, total revenue, or your total sales, subtract the cost of goods and services. After getting that number, you divide that number by the cost of goods and services sold. Then you know the return on investment. So if at all return that value is high, you know that that business is worth investing. You know that you can invest more in that business. And then another we can talk about how you know your success. The customers. The customers, the percentage of the customers will tell you. I will tell you the what? The success of your business. And then you should, now another thing you should learn about is the customer health score, whereby 1, you should know the number of customers, 2, the number of repeat customers, then 3, the number of typical customers spending patterns. You get those 3 insights. Customers are coming. Yes, you have gotten the total number of customers you have gotten. That is 1 tick. Then how many customers are returning? That's another tick. Why? These customers who return increase your sales. And then you should understand the pattern of buying of these customers. Because it might be, I can give an example. The types of milk. You have put in your shop different types of milk. But then realize the pattern is that these customers, these returning customers, are taking one brand. So what does that mean in your month when you're going for stocking? You increase the stocking of that kind of brand because you're having more returning customers and you have really understood their buying patterns. So that way, you know the customer health score. How are my customer behaving? Then another thing of customer, you can know net promoter score, which this is the measure of how likely your customers are to recommend your business to others. Try to ask your customers, hey, customer, ngoli mupya, how did you get to know this business? You may get to know that it's from this person, or they got to know my business from Facebook, from WhatsApp, from TikTok. That way you can invest more in TikTok in that. Try to ask your customers, your new customers, how did you go to know this business? Then you know who recommended them and how they got to know. Then other, you can use customer satisfaction score. Is another metric to determine how satisfied your customers are with a specific action, product, or service. While this one, it's about, so you can get to know how satisfied your customers are. There you can get to know that there's a high retention of this customer. So if I told you into, let me say, food industry, you can get to know how the food tastes, how it is, how they are satisfied with your customer service. Then you can get to know how it's going around. Now, the last measure of success that most of you tend to shun away is called employee satisfaction. Employee satisfaction. Ask yourself, are my employees satisfied? Remember, employee satisfaction is relative to customer service. Yeah? The level of commitment your customers have, the level of commitment your employees have is equivalent to the quality of goods and services they will be having. I will give you an example. You go to a restaurant, yes, the waiter takes 20 minutes to bring you food. You guys, you know those brands, those restaurants, they have really good food, but they take 30 minutes to prepare your food. That way, you might lose out some customers. So the employee satisfaction, what is delaying these employees to make that food fast? Are they the material? Is it salary? So what you do, you try to ask the employees, what is stopping you from bringing the services? You people have gone to the wholesale shops. Wholesale shops, you have seen them having even 10 employers. Go to big hardwares, they have even 10 employers. Why? They want to make sales really fast. The more the customer is dissatisfied, he will just leave and go to another hardware. So that is crucial. It will measure your success. How are your employees satisfied? If they are satisfied, that means it will relate to the quality of services you give. So we have been talking about how you should measure the success of your business. Those who have just joined, we have said number 1, the break-even point. Number 2, net break-even point, which is how fast your money will come back. Number 2, net income ratio, which is the money when the company subtracts its expenses from the revenue or from the sales. Number 3, we had the monthly recurring revenue or the monthly sales. Number 4, we have the leads conversion and bounce rate. This is about those in social media advertising through social media. Then we had number 6, we had the return on investment. Number 7, you have the customers. We talked about the customer health. Then number 7, we had employee satisfaction. So from that, now let us look at the general business planning. There are a lot of things I'm going to talk about, but then you are going to have a small hint about. First of all, your objectives for that business should be SMART. SMART, that means it should be specific, measurable, attainable, retrievable, and time-bound. Here on my laptop, I can give an example of SMART goals. Meet Jen. Jen is a product manager at a mid-sized tech company. She's a mid-sized tech company. It's called Tech Farm and has been tasked with increasing usage of Tech Farm mobile app. Now, she wants to know if her goals are SMART. Yeah. Now, if at all you're having a business, ask yourself, is it specific? Yeah, specific. Ask these questions. In order for the goal to be effective, it needs to be specific. And these are the questions you should ask yourself. 1, what needs to be accomplished? What should you do to accomplish that need? 2, who's responsible for it? 3, what steps needed to be taken to achieve it? You want to do a pharmacy. Yeah, pharmacy. You're not into the medical field. It's specific. What needs to be done? You have to get a license. Then second, you have to get a pharmacist to register that pharmacist in your name. Then what steps should be needed? You have to you have to go to the local authority, get the business license. You have to go to NDA, get the practicing license. You get the point, eh? They should be specific. Then they should be measurable. Yeah. Then here here's a hint. Don't underestimate the outside impact of short-term goals. Don't underestimate the outsized impact of short-term goals. You may have a long-term goal for your business. I want to expand my business to these regional sales, to be regional, or to 100 millions. But try to break down, should be measurable, break down to mid-term goals. Like in this year, I should have hit this rate, this target market. I should have hit this kind of revenues. There, it will help you to carry out activities to reach those goals. Then another one should be measurable. You should measure the goals or your success of that business. As I've told you, for the customers, the number of customers, how many are returning, how many are this. Then another should be achievable. This is the point in process when you give yourself a serious reality check. Some of you want to get 100 million in 2 months. Ask yourself, the kind of business I've invested in, is it really achievable? Let's be true to ourselves. Then the last should be time bound. First of all, you should have a time period to have your return investment, so that you will take 20 years to get back your money. By the time you would have died. So your objectives for that business should be SMART. Now, let's talk about just a small hint. We should talk about measures of success. Then you have benefit measurements. You have started your business. Is it to get money? Is it to provide employment? Is it to get the prestige bit of it? Ask yourself, what is this business for? Then, what are the key deliveries? I can give an example. Those into bakery, you can say my key deliveries, we have the donuts, we have the cakes, we have the donuts, we have the cakes, we have the sumbusas. So that way the key deliveries can tell you what is you can make market segmentation. Yeah, that I can have people who will buy donuts at 500 shillings. Then I have a target market which can buy cakes at 50, the ones of 100. So you should know what are my key deliveries of this business. Then who are the target customers? And then how do I reach them? Then another one, schedule management. Before starting a business, you should have a schedule that in these days, this month, I'm going to get where I'm going to rent. In this week, I'm going to get the licenses. In here, this time period, I'm going to do the shopping. Here, I'm going to get the employees. So by the time the business gets to start, when you don't have to go back and look for something else. Then we have talk about resource management. Before starting a business, you should know which are the key players in my business. Do I need an accountant? Or if at all I'm going to employ 3 people to reduce on the cost on the business, I will need someone who will be a receptionist and also an accountant. So to help you to look for that kind of resource, that's what we call resource management, and the kind of skills. And most cases, when you go for the resource management, we try to forget the talent management. Someone's personality, personal attributes. So whenever you're going for those resources, the human resource, you should look at the personal attributes of someone. Is he trustworthy? Can he work under minimum supervision? Yeah. Is he result oriented? Don't look at the finance bit of it. He knows accounting. Yeah. Then we have risk management. Now, the other person who has talked about investing, going abroad, 5 million. Ask yourself, what are the risks involved? 1, the company I'm going to invest into, is it really legit? Then where I'm going to invest, will I get that money? So you should also look at risk management in your what? Like for rentals, there are risks that the tenant won't pay. Before starting that business, find out how will I manage that risk for the tenant not to pay. You get the point? Then we have what we call communication management in the business. The way you communicate to this casual laborer is not the way you're going to communicate to the accountant, the way you're going to communicate to your stakeholders and the like. The accountant, the casual laborers, putting them in a business WhatsApp group is useless. The casual laborer may not even have a smartphone. So it may be needed to give him a call. You get the point? Then procurement. Some of you, when you're starting business, you forget that the element of procurement. Why is procurement needed to be done? You plan for procurement before starting your business. It will give you time to negotiate on prices. When put the list of what you need, it will enable you to look at on the market who will give the best equipment at the best price. So if you do the procurement planning early enough before you start your business, yeah, it will make you to choose between a certain product and another. But the moment you go into business and realize, oh, I forgot I had to buy a computer, you will be on pressure. You will just buy anything. So as long as to fix that gap in your business. So basically, that's what I can share with you about business planning. Now, I think let me welcome questions. Those who have questions, because I wanted to use at most 1 hour for this session. So about 5 minutes to go. Those with questions, you can type the questions in the chat. If you don't have questions, then I'll just read a template of how a business plan should be like, and then you go and make research about it. Maybe later on in the other live streams, I can talk about it. So the only question that was there, it's about investing abroad, 5 million, going abroad. I've talked about you can invest a good investment. You can go abroad, put in 5 million and go abroad. But I've advised you, invest that money, don't send it to relatives, but send it to a company which can invest for you and you share the profits. Or it can invest in land, because there are companies are now there. Then also look at the risks involved going abroad. Let the company be legit. So I think there are no questions. I think now let me just give a template of the business plan. When you're writing a business plan, this is a document you can use for, can be a business proposal or a business plan, because some funders may need a business plan. One, the table of contents, you can have executive summary, then company overview and description. 3, the market analysis. 4, operation plan. 5, management team. Then then the last one, the 6th, the financial plan. In the executive summary, I just talk about your business. Then you talk about, you give the location of the business. Then you give your contacts. Then you give maybe the key products or services you are to give. So that's what you can write in the executive summary. Now, under the executive summary, we have the business overview. That's what you should write, the business overview. Then from that, you write about the product served. The product served, you can, because this is a business plan for a bakery. You can say Yvette cakes, cupcakes, cookies, donuts. You write about the products. Still under executive summary, we have something about the customer focus. You should write about the customer focus. Here, it's the bakery will focus on residents in the Kampala metropolitan districts, where it's small business, where it has small business, large business, schools, universities, churches, households, where there are always occasions where they need purchase of cakes. So you can write like that. If I told you write the product served. We are still on the executive summary. Then we have customer, we have the management team. When you're writing your business plan, you should put the element of management team. Let me say the owner will be with 2 staff who will operate the bakery 6 days a week, from Monday to Sunday, from this time to this time. Miss Ayo will supervise the employees, manage inventory, and scheduling the work administratives. You can also say, among the the team that I'll be working with, I will have someone with a diploma in hotel management and the like, in bakery and something like that. Then from there, still in your business plan, you should put the success factors. Remember, when you're asking for funding, these are things that that you should be having. I'm going to answer your question. Let me first complete the template of a business plan. Now, for the success factor, you should put success factors in your business plan. You can put maybe exceptional customer service and commitment. Then you can say delicious and freshly made products, if at all into, yeah. Then convenient location, that can also be a success factor. On convenient location, I can give you why it is really crucial. These people of hardwares, I always advise people of hardware, don't put your hardware in town if at all you are not a multi-million hardware. Reason why? In town, most cases, there's always a hardware that is big, that provides wholesale. For you, you are a small hardware. The advice I can give you, put your hardware to that road that goes to the estates. You get the point? Because most cases, when they have bought estates, they have bought estates, the new estates, they make a road that goes to that estate. Rent there where the road goes to the estate. Reason why. Some of that person who's going to build will first buy from the big hardware in town, and then he will bypass your hardware, go to that estate. Most cases, even if you're on the foundation level, the material won't be enough. The workers at the site will be forced to come to your small hardware to pick a few construction materials. Then they realize you have others. Later on, when they are going to raise the walls, they will find that there is no reason of going to the bigger hardware when you can get the same material from the small hardware. So they will complete the house buying from your hardware, the small hardware. I think now you have gotten the reason why the location is key. Those who are to locate businesses anywhere, what you should do, look at the roadsides, like a pharmacy, a hardware, bakery, restaurants. Look at the roadsides. Come in the morning, sit there at the streets. Look at where are the pedestrians moving. Those guys, those people, those who are into boutiques. Look at the pedestrians. At that side where you want to put your boutique, your shop, your restaurant, is there a walkway? Is there a walkway of pedestrians? You're having a pharmacy. Is there a walkway of pedestrians? Like these people of the pharmacies, most cases make good money from around 6 p.m. onwards at night. That's why pharmacies close at around 10 p.m., even at 12 a.m. Why? The behavior of the customers. Most cases, people come back home starting from 6, 5, and they walk on those streets. Now, instead of going to the medical center picking drugs to take home, they'll pick from the pharmacy. So if you are to start a pharmacy, you should make sure and see where I'm going to locate my pharmacy. Is there a walkway for pedestrians to move? Another way you can locate your business, like for the restaurants and the like, locate your business in the tax park, on the park. Near where these parks, we have these bus stopovers. Put your food business there. You get the point, eh? So location is key. I don't talked about in the earlier discussions. So also, from the success factor, you have to give the financial highlights still in the executive summary in your business plan. That the design, the furniture, the equipment will cost this. The working capital will cost this. Other costs will cost this. Now here's a challenge. Some of you go for the businesses but never plan for utility costs like electricity and water. Please, when you're planning for a business, account for the utility costs, the water and electricity. And we have the recurrent costs. Some of you have started boutiques, but you don't account for the money that we're going to use for lunch. Yeah? For lunch, for taking tea. Remember, it is recurrent. You realize by the end of the month, you have used 500,000 for just feeding. It's better you put that feeding cost in your plan before you start that business. Now, in our business plan, from that head, number 2 is the company overview. You talk about the company, then the product served, industrial analysis. Then in your business plan, you should talk about the customer analysis. First of all, you should talk about the demography of your market. Who are the market? What is my market? What can I provide for the market? Some of you, if you're in a boutique, you can decide that my target market is the men. What do they love? What do they need? My target markets are the women. What do they like? What do they mean? Yeah, the children. And then you research about what are the spaces where children are, what are the spaces for men, what are the spaces for women. there you can reap big you can take advantage of that market. Then in your business, you have to show market segmentation. Some people, we have people of lower income status, medium and higher. It's better you provide all. Yeah. If at all you are doing rentals, you can put those of 150, then ones of 250, then the ones of 550. So that all market segments are catered for. Even if one market segment is not performing well, you can tap in another market segment. But some of you tend to have one market segment. When it fails, you have totally failed on sales. Then you should also ask yourself, what is the competitive advantage you have over other businesses? One can be customer services. 2, it can be your prices. 3, it can be maybe your location. Then there are other services you can do. Those are into bakery, you can do delivery. Those in bakery, you can have maybe the packaging. What is your advantage over others? You can do deliveries. One, you can say, when you buy this bulk, I'll do free deliveries. Then if you buy in this bulk, I'll give you free packaging. You buy in this bulk, I'll give you discounts. So you should know what's your market advantage. Yeah? It's called competitive advantage. You should look at that when you're into business. And then also your convenient location. Then still in your business plan, you should put market analysis. One, we have sales promotion. What is your sales promotion strategy? 1, social media. Are you going to put different posts? Which social media? How best do they work? Another, you can put word-to-mouth referrals. You can consider that. Another sales promotion is pricing. So for sales promotion, we have social media, we have word of mouth or referrals or recommendations, and 3, we have the pricing. You can compare the prices of those people you are competing with. Yours can be fair. You can also use word of mouth, but this comes with the services you give them. They can bring in most customers. Another one is about the social media marketing. Can also give you, or media. You can use the mainstream marketing, but the challenge with mainstream, the radios and the televisions, they are a bit costly. You can take advantage of the social media, and you should be knowing how to market based on each social media platform. Still, your business plan, you should talk about the operation. Yeah, in your business, operation functions. Who is going to do which activity? And at which activities, which role and which activities will be done for those roles. Then you should know the management team. You should put the management team in your business plan. Who are the staff? Which qualifications should they be having? What's their workload? What are their outputs you expect from them? Then last, the financial plan. You should know, when doing business planning, you should know the financial plan. 1, the cost drivers needed for your business, the major cost drivers in your business. Like these people of farmers, you need, after getting that rental, you need to put the where you put the display, the glass, the aluminum, the aluminum bit of it can cost around 4 million. Just that, the display and the glass. Those who are selling phones, you get the point, eh? So you should know, what are my investment, the capital investments, what I'm going to invest, the capital investments, the fixed costs that you're going to put in place. Then you should also calculate the variable costs. Variable costs are things that you're going to be buying every now and then for your goods and services. Variable costs include also the salaries, the utilities. Some of you forget the utilities, and also the utilities that you spend on yourself, like food and the like. And then, as we end this discussion, one tip: when you're investing, if you have 10 million, Don't invest the whole 10 million. It is one wrong thing all of us do in investment in our business. No. If you're having 10 million, invest 6 million. Yes. If at all, the 4 million is for capital investments, or is for fixed costs, and the variable costs are 2 million. That means you'll be injecting in 2 million every month. If you have a total of 10 million, invest 6 million. That means you're going to invest 4 million for the fixed costs and invest 2 million for the recurrent costs. Then keep the 4 million. Why? These are recurrent expenditures for the 2 months up front. You can even keep money for 4 months up front. Why is this one encouraged? Yeah. Why is this one encouraged? Because risks can come out. The moment something happens to your business, you have where to get money. You have the other 4 million to fix those holes in your business, rather than going to the bank where you're going to get bank and get loans with interest. So my last advice, when you're investing, don't invest all your money. Invest part of it and keep money to be used up front as variable costs or as recurring costs. So thank you for those who have attended this business talk. I think you have gotten an insight, and I think we shall be getting more and more talks like the business strategies, so that we can you can avoid mistakes in the business. Is there any question? Okay, this one asked, what skills do I need besides having a business? The skills for having a business, sometimes you may not be having all the skills. You may be required to hire business. Like as I've told you, you should need a finance analyst to look at your cash flows to help you out. You can have an investment analyst to help you advise you among what to invest in. Get the point, eh? So always look for professionals to help you in every investment you will make. Thank you so much. Mutamaguzi Abdul, Fisheries Officer, Lodis Local Government. Make sure you subscribe and also watch for more videos. Thank you.